action for you.
And I think this rule is absolutely going down.
Right now at 5, Governor Ron DeSantis promising a legal fight after the White House releases new details about its federal vaccine mandate. Tonight, we're mapping it all out. When this is happening, what rights you have, and why health officials say this is the best option.
Plus, a criminal investigation into a foster care services company here in Tampa Bay. We're live with the new details just released this afternoon.
And a real head-turner in Tampa today, a plane in the middle of the road. Tonight, we're finding out exactly what happened, hearing from the man who was able to safely land the aircraft on one of Tampa's busiest roads and drive it under a major interstate. We have lots to get to tonight. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on ABC Action News at 5. I'm Jamison Euler.
And I'm Lauren St. Germain. Wendy is on assignment tonight. We begin with something that will impact nearly 100 million Americans, the new COVID-19 vaccine mandate.
The new workplace safety regulations give businesses, federal contractors, and healthcare facilities until January 4th to comply with the new rules. And officials say this federal mandate preempts any state or local laws.
And as expected, Governor Ron DeSantis has a lot to say about this. The governor held several press conferences today slamming the mandate, and his attorney general was here in Tampa doing the same thing.
Both Governor DeSantis and Attorney General Ashley Moody already promising to fight the new rules.
We will not let this administration run roughshod over the freedoms of Americans.
I just think people are so sick of constantly being bossed around, restricted, mandated, all these different things. We've had enough of it, and we want people to be able to make their own decisions.
The governor went on to say the new vaccine rules from the Biden administration are, quote, going down.
Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders has more on the mandate and Florida's plan to change it.
Federal officials expect their new shot rules will protect more than 84 million workers and save thousands of lives.
Trying to relax this arm.
But Governor Ron DeSantis pushed back Thursday.
A year and a half ago, we started with 15 days to slow the spread, and now it's gone to get jabbed or lose your job.
The frequent Biden critic again vowing a legal challenge against the regulations, saying the federal government is exceeding its authority.
People should be able to make these decisions. I don't think people want this decision yanked away from them. I don't think they want to allow a precedent where the federal government could come in and just force you to do what it wants you to do.
Florida's Attorney General Ashley Moody set to handle the lawsuit in the federal 11th Circuit Court, her office filing jointly with Georgia, Alabama, and private plaintiffs seeking a stay.
I will file suit. As soon as this rule is published, we'll be in court.
OSHA's rule is what's called an emergency temporary standard, which doesn't need the regular rulemaking process. And legal experts think any challenge to it will boil down to whether it's needed.
The justification for proceeding this way is really that there's a grave danger that cannot wait.
That's employment attorney Shannon Kelly. She's thumbed through the 500-page rule and says much of it already focuses on proof.
At least 480 of those pages seem to be OSHA's anticipating legal pushback.
Federal officials believe they're on firm legal ground and say their order is justified as COVID has killed nearly 750,000 Americans, although final say may now be up to a judge as Florida and others ready a response. At the Capitol, Forrest Saunders, ABC Action News.
I wanted to get more perspective on how this mandate will be enforced, and I spoke with board-certified labor and employment lawyer Ryan Barrick. I asked him, will states that have leaders who are against this mandate be able to get around it? Here's what he tells me.
Supremacy Clause of the Constitution generally says that federal laws are supreme over state laws, and these regulations specifically say that they're going to preempt any conflicting state or local regulations. Ultimately, the courts will determine what that means and whether or not states can bypass these federal rules.
So he says there may be some reasonable accommodations for certain medical conditions or sincerely held religious beliefs, but those will be very case specific. I asked Barrick what his message would be to Americans who are not yet vaccinated and will fall under this mandate. He says if you want to keep your job, get the jab. And if you're confused about this mandate, we want to give you all the information possible. So we have the entire OSHA document as well as a graphic highlighting the main points about the new rules in this article. It's right on the homepage of our website, abcactionnews.com. abcnews.com. Jameson.
Lots more news to come, including the video of that plane that landed in the middle of one of Tampa's busiest roads and an interview with the pilot there. But first, let's get a check of weather with Chief Meteorologist Dennis Phillips here with a first look at your forecast tonight, Dennis.
Jameson, we're looking at a lot of cloud cover out there, overcast almost the entire day, but as expected, the rain is offshore for now. That'll be changing tonight. That'll be changing tomorrow as we get a widespread area of rain. Now, not everybody will see it, but coverage will be at about 90% tomorrow, so most everyone will. Upper 70s to around 80 degrees right now. The overcast continues, but if you look at Futurecast, your evening, there will be a few scattered showers, not too many. Most of us can get outside this evening and not have to worry about raindrops. Tomorrow morning, that's another story. Early to mid-morning, the rain comes in, and we pretty much look at rain off and on the entire day. Actually, maybe even two waves. The first wave in the morning, a second wave in the afternoon. Some potentially heavy rain and maybe even a couple of stronger storms as well. The question is, will this be out of here by the weekend? We'll have those new numbers for you coming up in a couple of minutes.
We'll check back with you shortly. Thank you, Dennis. Now to that incredible video of that plane in the middle of one of Tampa's busiest roads. And tonight, we're hearing from the pilot who narrowly landed that powerless plane there and completely avoided what could have been a very dangerous situation. That pilot tells us he had just taken off from Tampa Executive Airport when his plane suddenly lost all power. Looking down from his cockpit, he said he had few options. He aimed for Bruce B. Downs Boulevard, where he touched down incredibly without hitting a single car. As if that's not scary enough, he taxied it under the I-75 overpass before finally coming to a stop in the median. A stressful maneuver, but listen to how calmly he explained the life-saving maneuver.
I just lost power and I had to bring it in for a landing somewhere, and this road actually wasn't as busy when I came in. Probably buzzed a few people and put it down on the road, try to get it off the road. It's not on the median.
And the pilot is okay, and he tells us the only damage the plane suffered is a flat tire from when he hopped the curb to get into the median.
Moving now to a developing story we're following at this hour. Eckerd Connects, which is the lead agency in charge of child welfare services in Pinellas, Pasco, and Hillsborough counties, is now under criminal investigation. Comes after the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office says it learned about several incidents it believes rises to the level of child abuse and neglect. ABC Action News reporter Heather Lee just got out of that news conference. She joins us now live from the Eckerd Connects location in Largo. Heather, what are some of the accusations here?
Well, we learned from Largo Police Department yesterday that 3 kids were actually climbing a ladder in the back of this Largo location that you see behind me here. And while they were climbing that ladder, one of them actually fell off the ladder and at that point really injured himself because he fell onto a piece of metal that was on top of that ladder. Now, today, the sheriff says that one child got into unsecured medication and another kid actually overdosed on his own medication because of a lack of supervision. He had to go to the hospital. Now, the sheriff recently said that there's about 6 kids a night that have been sleeping here and in unlicensed facilities, but he says there may be even more who have been in the past. So he said this investigation could get even larger. He told us that these kids are sleeping in dirty clothes, on cots, and under desks with no access to hot food. He also says some kids were staying in unlicensed facilities, and in one situation, while a child was being transported to one of these facilities, they got a hold of an unsecured gun inside the car. Plus, he says there's another person who runs one of these facilities who is currently under investigation for drugs and racketeering.
These are kids that have been removed because the situation they were in at their homes was so bad that we felt that we couldn't leave them there under a safety plan and with any type of in-home services. So we got to put them in a place where they're safe. And they went to a place that is as bad or worse than the place we took them from. I mean, that's the crux of it. And the rest of it is all excuses at this point as far as I'm concerned.
Now, this comes a day after we spoke to the chair of Eckerd Connects about the agency's decision to not renew their contracts with DCF in Pinellas, Pasco, and Hillsborough County. DCF also announced it would not approve the contract renewals. DCF has now stepped in and has brought staff to take care of the situation with these children that have been sleeping here at night, and that is according to the sheriff's office. Now, of course, if you want to learn more information about the contracts, you can head to abcactionnews.com. You can find my story from yesterday on our website. I did speak with Eckerd, and what they said is they plan on continuing to work with DCF and work with this whoever DCF picks to fill their position to transition easily into that lead agency for these 3 counties in our area. For now, we're live in Largo. Heather Lee, ABC Action News.
Heather, thank you. And Eckerd Connects just released this statement saying it takes the criminal investigation extremely serious. It also says it's fully cooperating with the investigation. The statement goes on to say, quote, "We will not tolerate any acts of neglect or abuse by any of our staff or subcontracted agencies." Next here tonight, a new report highlighting Polk County's struggle with a mental health crisis.
ABC Action News reporter Rebecca Petit takes an in-depth look at the obstacles within the mental health system and how local agencies are working together to fix them.
I was in a dark place that I didn't realize that I was in.
Richard Shank has learned to deal with his mental illness through programs provided by Polk County's Peace River Center.
It doesn't have to control you. You can control your mental illness.
Peace River Center is the first line of defense for many people experiencing a mental health crisis. The nonprofit has a 24-hour hotline and provides in- and outpatient services.
Mental health is a priority need in our community, and it's one of those things that people don't like to talk about. You're much more willing to say, I need to go to the doctor than I need to see a therapist or a psychiatrist.
A big hurdle in getting help is having access to it. Peace River Center has opened a new outpatient behavioral health location in Lake Wells to reach more people in need of services. They've also partnered with the Polk County Sheriff's Office to provide counselors to help with mental health crisis calls.
They can do crisis response by themselves in tandem with an officer if an officer wants to go, or they can do follow-up of individuals that we have identified that need follow-up services because they've been recently Baker Acted by law enforcement.
A recent report by Polk Vision showed that 1 in 10 residents said they needed mental health care but did not receive it in the last year. The report comes after a year-long study looking into Polk County's struggle with the mental health system, including lack of funding.
When you look at where Florida is in the rankings of how much we spend per capita on mental health compared to other states, we're pretty far behind.
Alice Nuttall is the report's co-chair and Lakeland Regional Health Associate Vice President of Behavioral Health Services. She tells me there's also a need for mental health providers. Data from Polk Vision shows there is 1 mental health provider for every 1,190 people in Polk County, compared to 670 to 1 in the state. Nationally, the ratio is 310 to 1. Lakeland Regional Health has made a $46 million investment into building a new behavioral health center that will address this.
We have 96 beds when we get into our new facility, which is very exciting. But we're also adding a lot of additional outpatient services, not just growing the number of providers and therapists.
She tells me this coordinated effort by hospitals, behavioral health agencies, and law enforcement is what will help fix the mental health system. In Polk County, Rebecca Petit, ABC Action News.
The nationwide labor shortage now impacting the classrooms. Coming up, how educators in Florida are now looking at what needs to be done to make sure students are getting the best education possible.
And all new at 5, unable to apply for rental aid because of a disability. We'll bring you the story of a visually impaired person who had to fight to get assistance and the steps she took that helped her avoid eviction.